I'm Gordon Carter.
I'm Susan Carter.
We're from Twin Falls, Idaho for 50 years. And we started the foundation, Charity Anywhere Foundation in Twin Falls, Idaho. And our first expedition was into Tijuana, Mexico. And we worked with some Catholic nuns that had 2 different orphanages there. And we took down 15 teenagers from Twin Falls, and we worked there for a week and did some things that just told us that we can do more of this. We charged our volunteers so much, and that covered our costs, and it enabled us to do some construction for one of the orphanages for a classroom, and the other orphanage we made some improvements on their structure. The requirement was that you were willing to work, and we didn't ask what church they were a member of. We didn't ask which church our volunteers came from, or what the people we were helping, which church they were from. So we were non-denominational.
And one of the things that we do, and Gordon mentioned the charge, and when we charge the money, none of it goes to pay for Gordon or I. All of that money goes to the project. And so it pays for the food and the transportation of the volunteers that are there and a place for them to stay. But all of the money then goes towards the project. And when people feel like that they are already involved in the project, that this is their project, and they are such hard workers and are really involved in the process. You know, they're sold and they work hard and they feel the peace and the satisfaction that project brings. And that is a glorious feeling. And people like to feel that kind of feeling after they have worked hard and know that they have truly not just helped somebody, not just written a check, but their own hands have helped someone else in a great need.
We feel like that our foundation is a catalyst of bringing people together to do good. Our motto is be good, do good. And we have found that the American people really do want to help other people, but they don't know how to do it successfully. So that's what we have attempted to do, is bring an organization or build an organization to where we can take people into another country and be able to organize work projects for them so that they can then spend their time, not wasting their time, but spending their time in valuable work.
Well, what was your background to begin with that made you able to do this? Are you a teacher? What was your
I'm a small businessman. I have my master's degree in business. I don't know that helped me all that much, but it's nice to tell everybody that I have a master's degree in business. But it's just, we've learned from running different organizations. The businesses I had, 5 different businesses, and all of those business experiences taught me what to watch for. I really wanted our foundation to be for the common man, and that's why our fees, we try and keep them low, so that I'm just not getting the wealthy to go, I'm getting the common guy to go, or the common student to go. And with my business background, and I love to organize and put things together to see them happen in a successful way. And that's where it's all coming from.
So tell me about your operations now. You have a warehouse. Say a little bit about that. And also maybe mention how you know me or what your involvement with Love at Work is.
Sure. We have a warehouse in Salt Lake City, in North Salt Lake City actually. And we gather donations from various sources. And that's something.
Material donations.
Pardon?
Material donations. Yeah.
Material donations, not money donations.
Because that would be a lot of money to fill that place.
Yeah.
And we gather those, and then when we have enough to fill a container, we have great connections in Ecuador. We'll fill a 40-foot container with those donations, ship it to a poor community in Ecuador.
Or when we travel to some of the other countries, then we load up suitcases and take as much as we can with us. For instance, the DR that we just returned from, we had 18 individuals, and so they each had an extra suitcase or so. We were able to take a lot of helpful items like reading glasses, like some clothing, especially for missionaries that would be going out. So we filled those suitcases up with the things that we felt like they needed, and we were able to use it. So we also use the warehouse in serving a lot of the community, local shelters and local food kitchens and safe houses and senior citizens. So we feel like that we're not only just an organization who serves out of the country. So we're not all just serving in Mexico, Guatemala, and some of the other places. But we have 28 different organizations that we try to serve right here in the Wasatch Front.
From Provo,
That you collaborate with, or you partner with here locally?
We don't partner with them, no. We just, when we get supplies that we feel like that they need, then we take it to them.
Okay.
We'll have a truckload of things that will go down, for instance, to the Navajo Nation. And we will send a truck or trailer full of supplies down there. And we don't partner with them. We just, that's one of the things, if we have things that they can use, we don't want them stored in the warehouse. We want to get them out. So there's some shelters here that we try to supply some things with. So we're just a supply source.
Before you go on, what other countries you've been? Okay, you've mentioned Guatemala, right? Dominican Republic, Ecuador, Mexico.
we're hoping to get into Bolivia this year. I've got great connections. That's one secret that I found that you need boots on the ground in the country you're serving that you can trust, and they understand your goal, so that they are not trying to make $1 million off of this. And we do pay them when they have expenses. We don't expect them because we know their budgets are probably tight, but we do pay them when they have expenses, and we replace them with that. So Bolivia is the next one. I've got a great connection there in La Paz that he says, you bring a group down and I'll do exactly what you're doing in Ecuador.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about the dental chairs that you collect.
We hit the LDS Dental Academy convention every year there at Provo. And we have a sign up, and it says, if you have any used dental equipment, give it to us and we'll put it to work somewhere. And we've shipped, in fact, we just shipped 7 from Idaho Falls that we got out of Idaho Falls from this convention. And Dr. Zambrano from Quito is delighted because he says he's got 3 villages. He wants 2 chairs in each village, and each little village will now have a dental office. I don't know whether they'll have dentists, but they'll have dental offices.
But a lot of times you can have a traveling dentist. But what the traveling dentist will need is a place to work. And so if you have the tools and you have, like for instance, an office that is set up, then a traveling dentist can come through every 2 or 3 months or even 6 months and work for a week or so and do a lot of good. But when they don't have even an office to go to or the equipment at all, so this really helps in that regard. And you know, we've got generous people, and a lot of dentists, they're upgrading their office, and they have new tools, and they have new chairs, and they are getting new X-ray machines, and you know, they want a place that can, if they're still usable in good condition, then that's why we are able to utilize that to serve in these other communities.
Certainly. Now, I first met you, about 5 years ago? Do you remember what year? Was it 2013, 2014?
I thought it was 1896.
Yeah, time passes.
It's probably been 5 years or so.
Okay. So since that time, I've got to see your operations somewhat. I've been to your warehouse, and it was through you that I first went down to Tijuana 2 years ago to see your operation down there with building homes for the poor and things. And now I'm deeply involved with helping shelters in Tijuana. So what has been your, I guess, your evaluation of what I'm doing with Love at Work? What's been your kind of, you've been somewhat involved, but not directly, but what advice would you give?
Well, I've had probably, and it's, to me it tickles my heart, I've had probably 5 gentlemen spin off Charity Anywhere, and you'd be one of them. But I've got a group from Layton that goes into Mexico every year and builds 3 or 4 houses. I've got a gentleman in Highland that has his own foundation. So what you're doing down there is a tweak off of what we're doing, but I'm all in favor of it, and I love help support that kind of work because we really don't care. As long as the work is being done, we don't care who gets the credit. Mm-hmm. If the church gets the credit, wonderful. If the nuns get the credit, great. If the Catholic priest gets the credit, I don't care. If you get the credit, I don't care, as long as we're making sure that some good is being done. And that's been my attitude. I know that there's other foundations that are very tight-fisted with their information because they don't want you stepping in their territory to steal whatever they might be doing. So,
but we're not in it for a profit.
Right.
So it doesn't matter who gets credit for what. We're in it to see that those people have opportunities and have hope, I guess is the word.
Right.
That they have opportunities and they're placed in a position where they have hope for the future for themselves and their families.
Well, a lot of the work that I've been able to do myself, mainly in Mexico City and now in Tijuana, is done through collaboration with other nonprofits. And because this is something I cannot do by myself. I don't have the wealth to be able to do all I would want to, so I have to help the other on-the-ground organizations and so on and so forth. So I guess what I would like to draw upon you is your experience with collaboration with other organizations, abroad or here or whatever.
We've had a mixed bag of experience on that where we've collaborated and I call it partnered with them. And some of them have been extremely successful. Some of them have been extremely successful, but Charity Anywhere gets no credit. Just theirs gets the credit. I guess that shouldn't bother me, but I would like to have them realize that all of our hard work should be mentioned also in helping whatever the project might be. But I encourage partnering. I really do. We're partnering with a project in Guatemala right now that to me is probably our most successful one, and that's in providing mush meal called caparina to mothers and babies in a very poor area of Guatemala. And we're saving lives there. There's no question. We're saving some babies' lives. And maybe some other children that are in the family where that baby's at. Because sometimes the mother will take that caparina and give it to her children that are also malnourished. And so we're partnering with another foundation there. And in my book, the lady that's running it, she's got the heart of gold. And we're bending over backwards to help her.